Yes, I've got a friend at work. I keep trying to explain to him what my base looks like, and what all I've done. And so I decided just to make a little base tour video. And I've got a zombie wandering around somewhere that I'm going to have to take care of. Oh, looks like there's two of them. Okay. Okay. So, this is the first part of the base that I built. It's one of the only pieces that's above ground. I fought the day 7, 14, and 21 day hordes here. Of course, I did not have it all upgraded the way you see it now. I think about all that I had upgraded originally was this center bar here. I had it at upgraded flagstone. Everything else is flagstone. And all the spikes were just upgraded scrap iron. And that was more than enough for the day 7 horde. And then I upgraded, as time went by to handle the more difficult hordes. And I like having a little combat cage even after my base is done underground. That way, if I kind of come up and I kind of hear something going on above ground, it gives me a chance to kind of just come up and take a look at it. And I've got some reinforced concrete between me and whatever it is that's up here. That's usually more than enough to deal with just the average stuff that's up here every day. And this also serves as the main entrance to the base, as you can see here. But first, before we go down, we're going to finish taking a look at everything up here. You can see that's the top of my underground garden. It's all underground. That is bulletproof glass, and we'll take a more look at that in detail once we get to the below ground version, things in the below ground things of the base. Over here, I've got a solar bank that I found on a trader, and I've got some solar panels that they've had as well. You can see here what all I've got in it. And it's on a little floaty pad thing. I saw some other people do it. I thought, why not? We'll try it. I mean, it's okay. But I don't know. I'm building more floating stuff. But here's another look at the underground garden. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of neat. I usually work it at night and whatnot. So anyway, let's come on over here. Over here, if I can find it. There we go. This is the original pit that I built. Little pit trap thing. It goes all the way to bedrock. The problem is that at bedrock I found some bugs with blade traps that caused them not to do any damage. And that was a very large part of my setup for dealing with hordes. And so that ended up being a big bummer. And I had to abandon this pit room. I'll go ahead and show you too once we go down below. But that was kind of a pain. Also, if you're going to build pit bases, especially ones that go very deep, I highly recommend the desert, since it's easy digging all the way down unless you run into some kind of special resource. Oh, back there you can see the city that I found. It's kind of a nice city. Okay, so back there's the base. Now we're going to come over to the little pit base that I switched to after I did that. So here's the new pit base. As you see, I've got a much smaller hole, which works very well, and the pit's a lot shallower. You can kind of see the bottom of it down there, and you can see the two blade traps I have on the floor. I don't have a single blade trap design like the other one was, and I can show you why once we get down there. Originally, when I built this base, or this room pit over here, I had a trap door right here, and I didn't realize zombies could attack doors that were lying flat on the ground. I've done that before in previous underground bases. I've never had an issue, but on my first horde night here, I was fighting some stuff underground here, and I had a little drop-off chest over here, so I ran over here to drop it off on this drop-off chest that was on the wall, and I noticed a soldier zombie had clipped into the ground. I was like, what in the world? I've never seen that before, and I looked up, and while my door hadn't been broken yet, and I don't know exactly how the clipping happened, the door was partially busted open. And I can see other zombies gathered around it, kind of swinging at it and doing some weird stuff, or I don't know. Long story short, they busted the door. and I had some come down, and I took care of them, and I had to spend the rest of the horde over here fighting, because as long as I was over here, the way the pathing worked for that horde, it did not bring them over the door again, and they just ignored the whole thing the whole time. So I took that door out, plugged it up, and yeah, I don't know what I'll do in the future, but yeah, that was didn't like that at all. And it looks like maybe I did not kill that other thing. Oh, it's a biker. He lost his legs. That's one of the good things about another good thing about building a desert is you have cactuses, and they get a lot of defense for you. You get a lot of free defense from the cactuses. Zombies will lose their legs and just all kinds of stuff. Oh, there's my bike. I like my bike. I spent a long time getting skills up and finding stuff, and so it's a pretty good bike. Anyway. Alright, so that's all the parts of the base that are visible from above ground. Oh, I've got a little drop-off chest so that when I'm running around looting stuff, if I don't want to come back to base yet, I'll just park the bike and run, jump up here, drop stuff off chest real quick, and go again. Alright, so now we're going to come underground. And down here, always close the door behind you. Don't care if you think you are safe. I have two chests right here. This one is what I call my vendor chest. Anything that I find that I want to sell to the vendor, I just put it right there, so it's right here on my way out, and I can grab it before I make not vendor, trader, before I make trader runs. And then over here, I kind of have extra clothing. I don't really need that. I never have in the desert because I've got my poncho and my shorts and my t-shirt. But anyway, this is my cold weather gear. So again, I don't want to carry this stuff around because it'll take up slots in my inventory. But if I know I'm going to a cold area or something, I can just grab it on the way out, and we're good to go. So here is my original entrance to the base. It's just a ladder that goes all the way down, and it sits on bedrock, and I don't use that anymore. This is the top of my hatch elevator that comes all the way to the top, and this is just going to be really annoying, isn't it? Just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. So this is the hatch elevator that comes all the way to the top, and I'll show you how that works in a minute. Here is the little drop thing that I made. This is the way I go down now, and all the way down, boom. And you always got to put these hay bales down here or you will kill yourself. But you can see that it goes all the way down, and this is the main central point of the base, but I'll show you how the hatch elevator works. Hatch elevator is the bottom of it. Up. Get in here, try to center yourself a little bit, close it, hop. And I got stuck a little bit, but yeah, if you get stuck, it's just, oh, come on. Sounds like there's a wandering horde up there. So yes, wandering horde. Yeah, they're going by, they're annoying. Again, this is what I was talking about, why I like having a little combat cage up top. If there's something like this going on and I really still want to go up there, I just go up there, I've got reinforced concrete between me and them. Works out real good. Alright, let's try the hatch elevator again. That was dumb. Can't believe I got stuck. Okay, back down. Hatch elevator. Up, up. There you go. That's the way it works almost all the time, except for the one time I was trying to show it off, and then, of course, I failed. Alright, sounds like the roaming horde has moved on. Almost. Alright, that's actually rather annoying. Where are they at? Yeah, it looks like they just probably roamed by and lost some legs, lost some limbs on the spikes here, so don't care. Alright, let's go back down to the heart of the base here. I bet one of them's losing a fight to a cactus. That's what that sounds like. Alright, so here we go. This is the heart of the base. It's my crafting room. I've got forges here, cement mixers here, just because the stinking chemistry station takes up 3 spaces instead of 2. I had to divide those up into 2 sides, but that's okay, not that big a deal. Storage, got gunpowder going there, some shotgun shells I think there, glue, nothing. I got cement going there, cement reserves and things, ore, tons of it, just other random junk, food. Got my meat stew, just other stuff, garden stuff. I like to use candles for lighting. It's just not quite as strong lighting there. You see, I have little signs that tell you where the tunnels go. This one goes to the garden. We'll go down there in a minute. This one, it actually stopped working on this. I was going to make an entrance out to where I had a bike down there, and I just kind of, yeah, forget it. This goes to the original pit that I built. The one that goes to bedrock. This goes to the new pit that I saw. So let's go to the garden first. So we're going to go to the garden. Here's my this is actually a little extra garden area. It's for mushrooms. And I grow mushrooms down here because they grow down here without light. And you don't have to see anything. They don't need light, so you don't have to worry about it. And then you come over here, and this is the entryway up to the garden. And so here we are at the garden, and it looks like it's ready to pick. And you can see the underneath view of the bulletproof glass. I farm down here at night, watch wandering hordes go over the top of me and everything. They can't see the bulletproof glass. Yeah, they could probably detect you, I guess, if you made a lot of noise. They might become agitated, but they don't really do anything. They just get annoyed for a little bit and then go on. You can see here I've got a light set up. That's what that solar generator is powering. I don't know if that's a waste or not, but I'm kind of just going to figure out what else to do with it. I want to grab it, so I had never seen one in game before. So what happens is I have a little battery bank here. And the battery bank has some batteries in it. It's wired up to this timer relay. And the timer relay is set to turn the lights on at night, during the nighttime. And then it turns them off during the day. So when I come up here at night to farm, I've got lights on. I don't have to use my headlamp or nothing. But what happens is the batteries at night, since the solar generator, it only draws power during the day when the sun's up. Makes sense. So at night, when the lights are on, they have to draw power from the batteries. And so those batteries are enough to keep the lights on all night. And then when the daytime goes on and that comes on, it recharges the batteries. And so it's just kind of perpetual energy that I don't have to worry about. I am not a wire guy, just so you know. I don't go to any great lengths to hide wires or make them pretty of any kind. I'm just not a pretty person at all. I just build stuff that kills zombies and works, and I don't really worry too much about how it looks. Sometimes I stumble into something that looks good, like this bulletproof glass top. I kind of think that looks neat. But and I guess these wires look okay, but I don't try too hard to hide wires and stuff, and you'll see that in a minute when we go over to the pit, my zombie kill pit. There's wires all over the place. I'm not even trying to hide them. I actually think if I tried to hide them, I might cause myself more problems than I have. Anyway, so this is the garden. So here we are with the original pit. It goes all the way to bedrock. I showed you the top of it a while ago. Not using it anymore. As I explained, there was an error. Oh, by the way, notice how these shadows are here? That's actually shadows from grass and things that are above ground, even though that I'm like one above. Well, these wood blocks are sitting on bedrock, but still, you can see there's obviously a bug. Obviously, there's not supposed to be that much light down here. I've got no torches, so I don't know if they'll ever fix that, but yeah, even if a zombie walks by, you can see there's a zombie walking across the ground. It's kind of freaky, kind of fun. So this is my original pit, and you can see I did all this so you could repair stuff during Horde night and all that good stuff. Not that you actually have time to repair anything during a decent Horde night, but still, I did it anyway. So this is the kind of the underneath bottom of it. Come on up. You can see all the concrete I spent, and all the steel I spent, wasted making this, only to have to tear it out again. So what I had, originally I had a block sitting right here, and then a blade trap sitting on top of that block, so the blade trap spun at head level. And then I had electrical wires right across the bottom. Well, that was good in theory. The problem is the blade trap just spun there right through the zombies and never did any damage. The sound that makes never went off. The zombies never acted like they were getting hit by a blade trap. They got shocked just fine, but they never took any damage from blade trap. It never took durability damage from doing damage to zombies. It was just massive mess. So anyway, that didn't work, and after I found it didn't work, I said, oh well, I wonder what's going on. I wonder if it's just the placement of the blade trap that's causing the bug or something. So I actually took this block, I took the block that was sitting on out and set the blade trap flat on the ground, and then I put 2 more blade traps on either side here. And during that horde night, same thing happened. Blade trap spun. Nothing ever got hit. I even had a biker zombie fall on one of the blade traps on the wall. He's standing on it. The blade was spinning right through him. Should have bisected him. Didn't do a single thing. So I ended up taking that out, and I ended up stopped using it. I built the other pit over there and took all the blade traps out and everything they had over here, and moved over to the other side. Rather disappointing. However, the other pit is working just fine, so I don't know if I'll ever build another bedrock pit trap again. In theory, it was nice because all the weak zombies would die as soon as they hit the bottom, and only the stronger zombies that survived were the ones the traps were doing damage to, and I was using resources to kill those zombies. So that was really nice in theory, but if the blade trap's not going to do any damage, then that kind of doesn't work at all. So, and I don't know if it's a problem with it being. I assume it's a problem with it being at bedrock because I've had a little pit like this up closer to the top, and the blade trap has worked just fine. In other games, other world like a 16.2 and 1, I had that set up, and it worked fine up top, and it works fine over my other base. But of course, that's not a little 3x3 area. But I also in 16.2 I had a little 3x3 area bedrock, and it had the same bug where the blade trap was spinning and doing no damage. I was hoping it was something that was fixed in 16.3. I was wrong. So anyway, here's the old pit. So now let's go over to the new pit. Alright, pit 2. Alright, you see, built this one. I'm not sure what I was thinking with that little concrete wall there on the left. A moment of madness, I guess. I don't know. I do have a little jag out to the side. What it does is it allows me to go under here and repair these 2 blocks here specifically should they get damaged by a cop explosion or something. But that's all that I've got underneath. So let's go up here. Here is the new little pit base trap thingy. I spend most of the time right here killing stuff. See, we've got some leftover damage from the last horde, but I actually have a video of that horde that I've uploaded. I uploaded it right before this one, so it's there if you want to see how this thing works in action. And you can see that this damage that was done is very minor, and actually was pretty much all done by the shotgun turrets that are up top. But we'll look at those in a minute. Well, you can see the shotgun turrets right up there. They're pointed down, and actually because of the ones there in the back and the angle they fire at, sometimes I even get hit every once in a while, but it's not enough damage to it doesn't really matter, and it kills zombies so good I don't really care. Just experience from our armor, I guess. But anyway, so you can see here 2 blade traps. The reason that is because I wanted to be able to reseed these 2 shotgun emplacements so that back against the lip, so that zombies could not kind of come in and hit on those in any way from the upper side of the pits and little 2x2. Also, it seems like it seems to funnel them a little bit better than the 3x3. This little 2x3, and it just seems I get a better distribution of zombies. I like it. But anyway, so they fall in because I went to that, and if I was going to do that and have this little recessed area, that created a what is it, a 3x6 area on the bottom, which is perfect for 2 blade traps. They can still cover the entire area, and they're sitting on blocks, so they swing at face level. They obviously, you hit zombies in the face, you do a lot more damage, and against the stronger zombies, that's the radiated cops and stuff, is exactly where you want to hit them. I do not use spikes on the bottom because I don't want the zombies, the weaker zombies, to lose their legs and start crawling. I want them to stay standing and take blade trap to the face. And also, if they're crawling, that means the shotgun turrets are going to have to try to shoot down to ground level, and they would be shooting through the blade traps, and I don't want that. I don't want them doing damage to the blade traps. You can see they're peppering the walls a little bit, but again, that's very minor damage. So I don't have spikes down here. I do have the electric wires that run across that shock them and kind of slow them down and stun them a little bit, and it gives the blade traps and the shotgun some extra time to do their damage. On a good horde night, I don't have to fire a shot. If it's an irradiated cop, yeah, I've got a shot. You can see here my shotgun. I got some slugs and whatnot in it. I may fire a couple rounds, but honestly, it's not necessary. I usually lots of times before I fire, it's actually dead before I get the first shot off. But anyway, uh, so yeah, that's that setup. You can see, like I said, I don't try to hide wires. If I did, yeah, I use a relay over here because it was not long enough to reach over there, but I don't really hide wires. I considered hiding the wires running under, but I've heard the cop explosions go through blocks, and if it does, and I had those little relays underneath there, those fragile relays, if he exploded, he would destroy the relays, and he could destroy my entire power system, and then I would really have a problem. This way, everything's up out of reach from a cop explosion, except for the blade traps themselves, and really the electro nodes. But the most important thing is those stupid shotgun turrets are up out of explosion range, and their power lines are up out of range. And I think these can actually survive a single cop explosion, and that gives me in time to repair them if I do have an explosion like that, and keep them up and running. But mainly I just want to protect those fragile relays. I only have to use 2 torches in here to light it, because I don't use. I said I'd use candles in the other portion of the base. This room's so big that I do use torches for that extra light, and they do too just fine. Up here, I've got a couple of ladders and catwalks so I can get to the shotgun turrets, so I can aim them and whatnot. See, I keep 500 rounds in each. I don't know why I hit tab every time. I have 500 in each, and they're pointed down towards the pit. And so when zombies fall in, they fall down, and they get blasted by the shotguns. And same thing over here. You know, shotguns, 250 each. And I spend a lot of time making shotgun ammo because I'm paranoid. I think I've got it. This is my, what I have made here for refills. But that's actually not everything. All the shotgun shells I have a lot of them down in the main part of the base in storage, and I have them down in storage and whatnot. And I've got lots more. So yeah, that's the base. So now that everybody can finally understand what I'm talking about at work, whenever I'm saying I've done this and I've done that, and I'm working on this. Now you see what I'm doing and what I'm working on. Hopefully I won't have any more. Hopefully I've explained it well enough to understand. Here's some of those extra shotgun things. That's the reason why I use slugs for my own person, because these shotgun slugs, you have to use a lot of them, and they take, the paper is the difference, and also I don't need nearly as many shotgun slugs as I do. I use paper for the regular shotgun shells, and then you use brass for the slugs, so might as well use slugs. That and the bullet tips I find that goes into slugs instead of the buckshot. But anyway, so that's the base. Hope you can understand what I'm always talking about now. Thanks.